Alrighty then, so coming at you today with two different mod showcases which sort of go together, so I've thrown them in the same video. As you can see, we're in a slightly different vehicle than we're usually in. This is called the Weed Loader. Don't say nope to dope. Obviously it's filled with cannabis. You got an entire crate of the stuff in the back. You got a little cabinet of glass bongs, a little action figure, a dildo, and a small bag of weed, plus two little zoots, an ashtray, and a lighter, and your own little plant. So obviously you might be thinking, what are you doing with this big van full of weed loot? Well, if I didn't get stopped by this dickhead taxi driver who actually stopped at a red light, I'd be on my way to Franklin's Trap House, which is the second mod in the showcase. As you can see, those little metal bits on the side of the car actually have weed in them. As you can see, the little smoke particles coming off, so you can drive down the street and get everybody baked. So yeah, parking up the weed loader now. So this is Franklin's Trap House, which is quite a nice little mod. Basically does what it says on the tin, traps Franklin's house out. So as we're walking onto the drive here, there's two shady individuals. First one, I don't really know what he does, he just sort of stands around. But the second one greets you at the door. He's always drinking pisswasser, just chilling out, you know what I mean. And so yeah, if we head in to the trap house, it doesn't look too different. The lobby room is pretty normal. That is until you go into Franklin's room. In Franklin's room, there are two wasted junkies. One's on the floor, almost passed out, and the other one is sort of fondling with a disc jock thing. I don't know, but yep, cannabis growing on the ceiling. Couple little blocks of weed lying around. Yeah, not too different from Franklin's normal room, to be honest. That's the place where the cannabis is already. However, heading into the living room, obviously we've got his fucking weird aunt doing her little exercises. Other than that, we got a bunch of dudes trapping out. There's cannabis plants growing all around the living room. We've got cannabis again growing from the ceiling, and on the coffee table there, as you can see, there are some prescription drugs. But also there are basically scales, there are blocks of weed, there are Sealy bags, everything you need for a good night in. So yeah, as we head on into the sort of lobby area, there's another table full of cash, and some of the money is even in bags for some reason. But yeah, and then obviously you got the massive crate of weed just to the left there. Other than that, same old stuff, just a couple people trapping out, getting pretty wasted. As we head into the kitchen, this is when it starts to get quite heavy. There's a little bit more than cannabis going on in here. We've got toluene, propylene, glycinol, bismuth, acetone, all the dodgy shit, phosphoric acid, hydrogen peroxide. You know what that means. If you've seen Breaking Bad, you know where this is going. There's an absolutely massive bag of weed on the kitchen table and some Breaking Bad sort of blue stuff. As we head around the corner, there's a giant crate of money, which you can see as soon as you walk in the house. It's at the very end of the lobby, and more money in bags. I don't really know what this shit is, I'm not gonna lie. It's like 3 glass bottles connected to some kind of a battery. Of course, weed growing on the ceiling. Other than that, not much. There's some guy just sat in the living room. I don't know what he's doing. He's just sat there pretty faded, probably done a few lines of coke, and he's suffering from the come down now. But this is where I was shocked. So I walked into this room and there's some guy rubbing his chest on the back of a prostitute. I don't know what's going on here, but you know, there's more cannabis growing from the ceiling. So yeah, I nearly missed this room, but I forgot there is actually a bathroom, which of course is filled with large quantities of cannabis, and the bath itself is filled with plants, and there's more hanging from the ceiling. So yeah, that just about concludes the interior of this fucking trap house. As we go outside, the sun's coming up. As usual, when you're leaving a trap house, you don't know what year it is when you come out, but there's a few people on the roof for no apparent reason. They haven't got guns, they're not smoking, they're just standing up there. And one kind of disappointing thing about the mod is he hasn't trapped out the garden. I was expecting to come out here and find a massive barbecue, you know, everybody smoking, drinking, but you know, not too much in the garden really. So it's basically an internal thing. Hop into the weed loader now. You may have noticed all my cannabis has disappeared. God knows who took that, but yeah, that's the trap house, and that's the weed loader.